Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, or should I say Incompetence Simulator, because I'm currently planning a rather incompetent mission. I mean, there are reasons for it. Like, I know it's incompetent out the gate, but regardless, we need to explore Kerbin, which means that we need to transfer crew between vessels near Kerbin. So, this is a dumb idea. Here's the concept. We need to send another moon rocket, right? We need to put some actual experiments on the moon. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the Pratihara Lander Mark 1. And we're going to send this in this state. This is the upgraded version that we made last episode. We're going to send this in this state, but I mean, I don't know. Bill he overslept this morning. Bill is going to forget to wake up in time to go, and we're just going to launch this without him. He missed the boat. This is a really dumb concept. And then we're going to have to send him up separately, intercept, and we're going to need to transfer him over to complete our contract. So, that's how this is going to go. We already know that this rocket is good to go, so let's go ahead and save and launch. I'm a little concerned about the actual overpowered nature of this first stage right now. I think we're going to get going pretty quickly, but it should be fine. So let's go ahead and launch this. This is just Jebediah and Bob here. Of course, Bill is still sleeping. I mean, look at this. We're up super early. It's still dark. So Bill overslept. He'll have to catch up later. So off we go. Yeah, we still don't have our flying low EVA report. That's a thing. But that's okay. So we're currently moving at about 100 meters per second here. I'm going to very slowly start pitching over. Very, very slowly. Excellent. And we're just ever so gently making our way over towards that prograde marker. We're moving pretty quickly already. That is definitely for sure. That was a little faster than I wanted to move there. I feel like we've definitely got some aerodynamic control surface issues. We're still pretty low for the speed that we're going. So I'm not super shocked that we're having a couple of difficulties here. Let's just make our way over to that prograde marker and then give Jebediah control. I was hoping that he would gain enough skill to be able to lock two maneuver nodes, but nope, that's not a thing yet. Okay, off go our SRBs. And we are already up over 2 thrust to weight. We're plenty high here. So let's just go ahead and coast at this point to our orbital location. Yeah, we're going to be a little bit off on our inclination, but I'm not too concerned about that. So we'll just do something along the lines of this and circularize at around 100 kilometers. It doesn't have to be exact. That's definitely the wrong way. We can toss in a little bit of radial or anti-radial to make that just a little bit more symmetrical. About like that. That'll do. Technically, I probably should have instead put it a little bit different in terms of the position of the node, but it'll be fine. Okay, we'll just head over to this marker here. We want to burn this at T-minus 41 seconds, so in about 1 minute. We'll just head over to that maneuver marker. We've got lots of DV here in this first stage. There we go. So at 1 minute and... No, what am I talking about? At 41 seconds. Let's go ahead and burn this. Right about now. Now, technically, this is going to burn off this whole stage, but it'll be fine. We'll have plenty of DV to make this happen. We're not going to be changing the orbit of this stage, so we're not going to be burning any extra fuel here to get Bill on this rocket. We are instead going to be sending up a secondary rocket. And Valentina is going to fly Bill up once he gets around to waking up. Okay, so we'll just position right around here. We're slightly off of the prograde node because of that small radial burn that I tossed in there. That's fine. And this will be our first stage pretty much gone. And off we go with our second stage into orbit. Once again, this is plenty of DV. I probably should have aimed slightly lower and gone horizontal a little bit more in order to make it into orbit with just that first stage, but it's okay. I'm not too concerned about this one. We'll just hold this position for now, and there we go. We are entering orbit. This is good enough. We don't need to circularize. Okay, so let's head on back to the Space Center and check to see if Bill has woken up yet. Bill, have you woken up? No, Bill hasn't woken up yet. Okay, well, let's warp until sunrise and see if Bill shows up. Anything, Bill? Man, this is quite an oversleep. Ah, there's Bill, finally. Bill woke up when the sun came up. Sure. Well, we definitely don't need this rocket to get him up there. There's no doubt about that. We are instead going to open up... Let's see here. We probably want to use the tourism trap. And this is the variant where we don't actually have the tourist module in here. That's fine. And the crew is just going to consist of Valentina and Bill. So Valentina's going to fly Bill on up because Bill couldn't be bothered to wake up this morning. And so we are going to head off. Now, of course, we probably want to time this launch to be a little bit more efficient. I'm not sure where we currently are in the orbit right now. Like, I usually don't bother timing it, mostly because I don't exactly understand how that works. But we can set this as our target, and you can see right now that this is basically anti-target that we'll be burning. So we'll try to time this a little bit, and we'll just let this shift on over. And here comes the Pratihara lander. Excellent. And we'll just wait until the target marker shows up a little bit here. Okay, here it comes. We probably want to launch... I don't know when. I don't usually do this. We're going to launch sometime around now-ish. I'm going to wait a little bit longer, actually. And we'll do it about... We'll do it about now. And off we go, delivering Bill to the Pratihara lander. Of course, we're going to be a little bit behind it. That's definitely to be expected. We're a little slow off the launch pad. It's passing over us right now, so we'll probably have to catch up with it. But that shouldn't be a big problem. So we will go ahead and start pitching over here. I don't want to be in target mode. I want to be in orbital mode. And we are currently falling less and less far behind per second. We're working on catching up to it. Excellent. Let's just continue making our way on over. Yeah, the inclination is a little off. We'll fix that later on. And I feel like we're moved over a little bit much right now. Our apoapsis isn't super high, so we'll just hold here for now as we get additional altitude. We were definitely a little late on the takeoff, but that's fine. We will definitely catch it. Our apoapsis is currently pushing up to about 30 kilometers. Once we hit about 40, we'll resume heading over to the prograde marker. And there we go. Let's head on over to that prograde marker and hold attitude prograde. Excellent. Of course, we need to aim for around 110 kilometers. We know that. And that's fine. And off go our side tanks in that beautiful Korolev cross. I love it. We will be at about 110 kilometers very shortly. Gaining a lot of altitude right now. 8, 9, 10. Okay, we'll coast from here. And we will, of course, add ourselves a maneuver over here. This is slightly off on the apoapsis. I'm aware of this. There we go. Something along the lines of this should be fine-ish. However, we can actually adjust this a little bit, but I'm going to hold off on that for the time being. We're not going to do any radial burn. We're just going to do something like this, and we'll adjust that orbit later on. So this is going to be a 1 minute, or rather a 31.5 second burn here. So T-minus 31.5 is our destination. We are continuing to fall behind the other rocket a little bit. We knew that would be the case, though. That is completely okay. So T-minus 31.5 seconds is when we want to commit to this burn. And that'll be quite soon now. Now. Excellent. Let me zoom in so that we can actually see the rocket. There we go. Wonderful. This is, of course, a much smaller rocket with much less DV, but it's plenty to get what we need done. Excellent. About 40 more seconds in this burn. And if we switch over to target mode, we can see here that we're getting closer to matching velocities with the target. We're still a ways off, and we will be, but that's okay. We know that that is going to be the case. The target is a ways ahead of us right now, and we'll catch it probably somewhere over here. This will be in the dark side, which will be awkward. We may actually want to wait. We'll look at what our maneuver options are in a moment. We may want to wait until we're on the light side, though, just for visibility purposes. Okay. This is plenty. We, of course, went a little elliptical there, and I actually did that on purpose because I wanted to give us some options on where to do our burn for our intersect point. So if we were to do our burn, say, here, then that wouldn't do too much. And that's okay. However, if we were to do our burn, say, over here, and no, I don't want... I do not want 600 meters per second in the normal direction. Thank you very much. If we were to do our burn over here, yeah, that's not fantastic. Not fantastic at all. Okay. So let's try out something over here to hopefully give us a decent encounter in the light. Let's take a look at the, not the descending node, but the intersect. Yeah, that's a pretty big intersect, that's for sure, but we'll go ahead and drop that on down. That's going to be a big burn to catch up. That's going to be a big burn to catch up. Okay, what if we did that after an orbit and didn't do this? With just a fresh after-orbit burn, what does this look like? Because our orbits are slightly different, so each orbit will, in fact, be a fair amount different. Okay. This is reasonable-ish. We can bring this down something like that, and then we could potentially chase it. Ooh, this is looking good. That is not a bad separation. Okay, let's look at this intersect. 13 kilometers. Yeah, that is not bad. Take that a little more retrograde. Maybe a little bit on the normal? That was a little much on the normal, I feel like. No, we actually need to get a little bit more on the normal. 6 kilometers. 4 kilometers. 1 kilometer. There we go. That's incredibly close. I did see something a little bit closer. Looks like 0.4 kilometers is what we got. I like it. And that is a good intercept. We'll go ahead and hold at this position. There we go. And we should probably warp to next maneuver, but we're going to need to do a full orbit here. So let's go ahead and warp past this maneuver. And yeah, this phasing orbit is mostly just because my timing sucks. But that's completely okay. I'm not worried about it. We'll warp to next maneuver. And this is going to be a 10.5 second burn. Sounds good to me. We're slightly off the node, but that will change pretty soon. And our encounter is going to be just past the Terminator, which is not necessarily ideal, although will it be just past the Terminator by the time we get there? Maybe. I don't know. Let's just go ahead and position here, and then we want to go to 10.5 seconds. Oh, I wanted to check what our apoapsis and periapsis will be. Completely fine. Completely fine. Okay. We're not going to be dipping into the atmosphere. That's a very good thing. We'll do this burn now. Okay, this stage goes away. And off we go. I can't help but notice that we're going into the atmosphere right now. Yeah, so this is not the final apoapsis and periapsis that I thought it was. Okay. We need to raise our periapsis back up. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was clearly looking at the wrong thing. Okay, that's fine. We'll raise this right on back up. And we will have to wait on that burn then. That was definitely a mistake on my part. I was definitely looking at the wrong thing, but I was thinking the right thing. So that's got to count for something, right? Okay, we're back in orbit. We've got plenty of DV to make this happen, so I'm not actually concerned here. I do want to potentially put a pretty big difference between our orbits, actually. It seems like we might need more phasing. We're a ways behind currently. No, I don't want this. I wanted to move this node. Not change the normal. Okay, so if we were to do something along the lines of this, what would that intersect actually end up looking like? Yeah, we need to change our orbit pretty dramatically here. So I'm actually just going to burn prograde here. And I'm going to push our apoapsis out a decent amount. Something along the lines of 200k. Just so that we actually have ourselves some differentiation here. And then once we do this, the question then becomes, if we shifted our periapsis like this, what would that look like? Okay. After a phasing orbit? Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah, that's definitely not what we want. There's no doubt about that. So let's just go ahead and warp to the apoapsis for right now. And I think we're going to have to give this a couple of phasing orbits. So we can add a maneuver here, and we will, of course, add in, say, 2 phasing orbits. And again, the phasing orbits are exclusively because my timing sucks. Yep, my timing still sucks. That is a lot of phasing orbits, But that's only 5 hours away. And realistically, that gets us incredibly close, with no additional DV. That's only 40 kilometers separation, so that means that that phasing orbit is about right. Let's work on getting that closer. Okay, that's now getting further, so that's as much radial as we can really go for. It looks like 13.7 is what we're looking for. Normal, we can get a lot closer by changing our inclination, of course. 5.7. Okay. And maybe a little bit prograde. 2 kilometers. Okay. Maybe we can tweak that radial a little bit more. 1.9. The normal a little more. 1.5. Yeah, we'll call that good. That's good enough. So we are, of course, going to need to warp forward a fair amount. I'm going to quick save here in case I make a warping error. But we're going to warp forward a good amount here. We need to go 5 hours. 3 hours. 2 hours. That's a lot of phasing orbits. 1 hour. Okay, something along the lines of this. We should now be able to warp to next maneuver. Yes, indeed. And we are going to have to, of course, position for this burn, which is only 3.5 seconds. We've got more than enough delta V to make this happen. So we'll position now. That is very responsive feeling. No, don't go prograde. Valentina, you can stop that. There we go. So at T-minus 3.5 seconds, we'll do this very small burn. Okay, warp forward just a little bit more. There we go. Okay, we'll just try to chase that node a tiny bit here. Should be good enough. Separation of 1.6 kilometers. I like it. Okay, so we'll go ahead and warp to here. That's about 10 minutes in the future. And we'll switch to target retrograde. Should be completely fine. There we go. And where exactly is our target right now? I would have thought that we would have been able to see it by now, but we are actually still... We're only 10 kilometers away. Oh, it's right there. Hello, target. So we're going to burn target retrograde quite soon here. I think once we reach about 5 kilometers away, we'll burn target retrograde. 1.6 is our closest point, and that's fine. So we will just get a little bit closer here. Maybe we should go 3 kilometers, actually. We're only moving at 200 meters per second relative to the lander. Oh, hello. I'm not sure why that teleported over. Yeah, we're going to go at 3 kilometers. So, now. Excellent. We can just barely see it. And we're moving at about 100 meters per second now. Make that 70. Make that 50. Okay. Nice. We will, of course, start moving towards target quite soon. That's away from target. Let's go ahead and move towards target at around, call it 5 meters per second, and just get closer. Actually, we'll just burn until the retrograde marker is basically on the towards target. I want to pull it up this direction a bit. There, that'll do. We'll flip over to target retrograde. And we will just close in on this target with some time warping. 2, 1, 0. Okay. Just getting a little closer here. We're going to be entering the dark side momentarily. That's fine. Okay, we'll just flip back onto target retrograde. I do want to get a little closer here. What is our maximum separation? 100 meters. Okay. We'll get a little closer. Okay. And we will begin our braking burn now, but I'm doing it very, very gently. Excellent. There we go. And we're going to position towards target. And I want to get a little bit closer here. Not much at all. We'll move in at 1 meter per second. Switch over to target retrograde. And we will warp in until we are somewhere around 50 meters away. Okay. We'll let it continue getting there a little closer. We're currently about 30 meters out. I'm still letting it come in a little bit. I did drop 0.1 meters per second there. 25 meters away. And we'll go ahead and stop relative. Fantastic. Now Bill is going to go ahead and EVA, but not before we are going to point towards target again. Excellent. And Bill, go ahead and EVA. I can't believe he slept in like that. That was just insane. Okay. Over you come, Bill. Fantastic. And we'll have him grab on. And there we go. Bill's taxi service doing its job. Excellent. Just as the sun sets over Kerbin. Now, of course, Valentina will need to head home. So let's take a look at her orbit. Her orbit is a little bit awkward here. That's fine. We'll just go ahead and bring this down to around 20 kilometers. It should be completely okay. There we go. And we're going to quick save in case we accidentally impact, but I really don't think we will. And we're going to warp to that maneuver. These guys, they're just chilling for now. They're going to stay here. And we're going to go ahead and do this burn. Here in just a few seconds, Valentina is going to head home. So, of course, T-minus 2.5 seconds is when we want to do this. And it's just a pure retrograde burn. I'm just going to sit on retrograde. And we will begin this burn very shortly. Now. Later, guys. Good luck on the moon. Valentina wishes she was going. Unfortunately, it's not her turn quite yet. Jeb is going again, and Valentina will get her opportunity. She's more interested in going to Minmus ultimately anyway. She's a big fan of the mint ice cream there. Okay, let's go ahead and orient retrograde as we re-enter. Wonderful. We've got lots of fuel in this tank. We may want to just recover this whole thing. So let's just go ahead and physics warp forward as we descend through the atmosphere and bring Valentina on home. Our apoapsis height is decreasing, of course. We're probably going to want to do a re-entry burn here relatively soon. We're coming in pretty steep, and I did that on purpose because I knew that we had lots of fuel left in this. But we've still got lots of sky between us and the ground. Okay, we are beginning to slow down a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and do a burn here. And we're just going to bring this down to the ground just as quick as we can. We've got lots of fuel for this, so no worries about doing an aggressive re-entry. Yep, this is going extremely well. Oh, and we also completed our contract. A few snack breaks, some counseling, and these crew members will be good as new. Fantastic. Currently moving at about 1,700 meters per second, and that is completely fine. No worries at all about this. 1,600, and once again, we're going to keep about 10 seconds of burn left in this engine just to cushion our impact, those extra couple of meters per second. So we've got plenty of burn time here. In fact, this is probably well more burn time than we need, even with that slight mishap with the periapsis. It's completely okay. Oh yeah, we're moving super slow at this point. Still 45 seconds of burn left in this thing. No real point in saving fuel. Fuel is almost free. I'm not concerned about it. 30 seconds left in this particular tank. And I'm just going to keep burning. Drogue shoots. Away. They actually can't even deploy yet. Well, drogue shoots will deploy on their own pretty soon. There they go. And we'll save the 9 seconds of burn. Sounds good. We're already moving super slow, but we may as well go ahead and physics warp. There we go. As soon as our shoots deploy, we'll grab this EVA report. Might as well take a little bit of science out of this. Shoots are deploying now. There's our drogues. And our main will deploy shortly. I'm just going off of physics warp here so that we can grab our EVA. Still moving a little fast. I mean, we'd survive the EVA, but I'll pass on it when we can wait until after the shoot deploy, which is happening now and is completely fine. So we'll go ahead and do that, grab our EVA report, hop back in. Fantastic. Physics warp towards the ground a little bit. And we will begin our landing burn very shortly. Landing burn, plenty slow. Perfect. And we've still got ourselves 2 seconds of burn to spare. Apparently we need a crew report, EVA report, and surface sample here. Okay. We'll take that. We'll hop on in, and we will recover this. So there we go. No harm done. Bill did manage to wake up in time to catch his ride, although it did delay the ride by about 5 hours, but I'm sure it'll be okay. And with that, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.